Well, California is taking Kamala Harris's housing subsidies one step further. The California legislature just passed a bill that offers down payment assistance of up to $150,000 to illegal immigrant homebuyers. Joining me now is Dr. Ben Carson, former Housing and Urban Development Secretary. Doctor, great to see you again. As a former head of HUD, this is right up your alley. What do you think of that, where most Americans, particularly first home buyers, are struggling to deal with almost 7% mortgage rates and the high monthly payments, double what they were when the Biden administration came in? Suddenly you get $150,000 for illegal migrants. What'll that do to the housing market?
Well, David, I got to tell you, this is a prime example of America Last policies. And of course, you know, having a home is an essential part of the American dream. What people long for is one of the reasons that people come here. But what about the American citizens, people who've been contributing to the United States budget their entire lives? What about them? Why would we put other people in front of them with a program that probably will never get approved anyway? It just doesn't make sense. It's a political ploy being utilized to gain the kind of traction that they don't otherwise have. And at some point, we have to just start doing things that actually make sense. If you really want to make homes affordable, do what was done during the Trump administration. Decrease the regulatory burden. Exactly. That's what's driving the prices, particularly in California. You can take a $150,000 unit, and by the time you get through applying all the regulations, it's $600,000. That's not helpful to us. And we need to look at the things that have worked in the past. And we had the highest home ownership during the Trump administration, and particularly amongst minorities. And we should ask ourselves, what did we do then? And I see that Kamala is starting to talk about decreasing regulations, which must be anathema to a Marxist, but she's starting to talk about it at least and adopt more of the Trump policies. And that's good. But I hope people realize that she's just talking. She doesn't really believe this.
Well, and she just doesn't know the way markets work either. And beyond the unfairness, which is the main thing about this new California plan. And again, it's a California plan. They do crazy things out there. It comes back to bite them. But she, you know, that's where her brain trust is in California. That's where she learned how to do the business of governance, if you excuse the expression. But think of how it would screw up the market. I mean, I remember very well the subprime loan crisis that led to the 2009 financial debacle, the worst financial crisis of my lifetime, and I'm no spring chicken. I mean, these are people about whom we know virtually nothing. I mean, that's the problem with our open borders. We don't get to vet these people. You know, we don't. If we can't vet whether they're criminals or not, we certainly can't vet what their financial background is. So we may be letting us into a whole new set of bad subprime loans, and that could lead to another housing crisis.
Well, we clearly are doing exactly that. There's no understanding of the market system whatsoever. And what you mentioned is very serious. We don't know who these people are. I was looking at a story this morning, Aurora, Colorado, where gangs are going into apartment buildings and taking over and terrorizing the people. Yeah. You don't have enough police because people aren't volunteering to become police officers anymore because they don't get backed up. They can potentially be put in jail themselves. You know, it's almost like there's a master plan for destruction.
And you know where we've seen that the most vulnerable of all in our nation are the children. And we saw it in all kinds of DEI. By the way, we do have a program coming out tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on FBM called Education in America. And this relates to the fact that so often in America, our children have been experimented on, and the worst part of it is when it's in DEI programs and critical race theory programs that teach them bad lessons. Meanwhile, they're not learning how to read or write. They're not learning their math. They're graduating from high school with a learning level of sixth graders or less.
It's shameful. You know, if you go back and you look at the sixth grade exit exams from 150 to 200 years ago in this country, You'll be very impressed by what you had to know to get a sixth grade certificate. Also very embarrassed because we were dumbing people down.
Absolutely.
And in the past, one of the reasons that we rose from nothing to the pinnacle is because we educated our people. They knew what they were talking about. They were excellent. None of this DEI stuff. You know, I certainly didn't experience that. You know, as a pediatric neurosurgeon, you know, people came to me because they knew that I was good, that they were going to get good results. And that's the way it should be in America. We need to stop the foolishness, because what makes a person? Is it the color of their skin, the texture of their hair, or the shape of their nose? Right. Or is it their brain? Maybe we should start concentrating on what really is important.
On substance, not superficiality, which is what Dr. King said many years ago. Doctor, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Great to see you again.